I can't remember. Is this game like a comedy or something? Because, like, I actually have no clue. Alright. August 3rd, 9:47 a.m., District Court. Defendant, lobby number 2. Alright, here we go. Boy, am I nervous. Right! God damn, she has some honkers. Oh, hiya, Chief.
Whew! I'm glad I made it on time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. Not everyone takes on a murder trial right off the bat like this. Says a lot about you. And your client as well.
Thanks? Actually, it's because I owe him a favor. Favor? You mean you knew the defendant before the case? Fuck, I just have a cough. Just pretend she's coughing in her inner monologue. Yes. Actually, I kind of owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney.
Well, that's news to me.
I want to help him out any way I can. I really want to help him. I owe him that much. It's over! My life! Everything! It's all over!
Is that your client screaming over there?
Yeah, that's it. Death! Despair! Oh! I'm going to do it! I'm gonna die! Sounds like he wants to die? Yeah. Nick! Hey there, Larry. Dude, I'm so guilty! Tell them I'm guilty! Give me the death sentence! I ain't afraid to die! What? What's wrong, Larry? Oh, it's all over. I'm finished! I'm finished! I can't live in a world without her. I can't. Who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? Oh, Nick, you gotta tell me! Who took my baby away? The person responsible for your girlfriend's death? The newspapers say it was you. My name is Phoenix Wright. Here's the story. My first case is a fairly simple one. It all starts with a young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her. Larry Butts, my best friend since grade school. Our school had a saying, when something smells, it's usually the butts. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. He has a knack for getting himself in trouble. One thing I can say, though, it's usually not his fault. He just has terrible luck. But I know better than anyone that he's a good guy at heart. That and I owe him one, which is why I took the case, to clear his name. And that's what I'm going to do! I like this game already. August 3rd, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 2. Court is now in session for the trial, Larry Butts.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The, defense is ready, Your Honor. Ahem. Mr. Wright? This is your first trial, is it not? Yes, Your Honor. I'm a little nervous. Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge! For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves. I think I fucked up his voice 3 times. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness. Yes, Your Honor. Hands shaking, eyesight fading. The test will consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clearly and concisely. Please state the name of the defendant in this case. It's Larry Butts. The defendant? Well, that's Larry Butts, Your Honor. Correct. Just keep your wits about you and you'll do fine. Next question. is a murder trial. Tell me, what's the victim's name? Whew, I know this one. Glad I read the case report cover to cover so many times. It's... Wait. Oh, fuck. No. No way. I forgot! I'm drawing a total blank here.
Phoenix! Oh, Phoenix, are you absolutely sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name?
Oh, the victim. Of course I know the victim's name. I, just forgot. Temporarily.
I think I feel a migraine coming on. Look, the victim's name is listed in the court record. Just press the R1 button to check it at any time, okay? Remember to check it often. Do it for me, please. I'm begging you.
Mr. Wright, who is the victim in this case? I think it's Cindy. Cindy Stone? The victim's name is Cindy Stone. Correct! Now, tell me, what was the cause of death? She died because she was... I think she was hit with a blunt object, Your Honor. She was struck once by a blunt object. Correct! Correct! You've answered all my questions. I see no reason why we shouldn't proceed. You seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you. Thank you, Your Honor. Because I don't feel relaxed. That's for sure. Well then. First, a question for the prosecution. Mr. Payne.
Yes, Your Honor?
As Mr. Wright just told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to the court just what that object was?
The murder weapon was the statue of the thinker. It was found lying on the floor next to the victim.
I see. The court accepts it into evidence. Statue, okay, it's a statue of the thinker. Okay. Okay, it's a pretty good looking statue, definitely the thinker.
Right? Be sure to pay attention to any evidence added during the trial. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. Use the R1 button to check. See, I'm just reading fucking tutorials here.
Shit! Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness.
The prosecution calls defendant Mr. Butts to the stand.
Chief, what do I do now?
Pay attention. You don't want to miss any information that might help you with your client's case. You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. Let's just hope he doesn't say anything unfortunate.
Uh-oh. Larry gets excited easily. This could be bad.
Mr. Butts, is it true that the victim had recently dumped you?
Hey, watch it, buddy! We were great together! We were Romeo and Juliet, Cleopatra and Mark Anthony! Didn't they all die? I wasn't dumped. She just wasn't taking my phone calls or seeing me. Ever. What's it to you anyway?
Mr. Butts, what you describe is generally what we mean by dumped. In fact, she completely abandoned you and was seeing other men. She had just returned from overseas with one of them the day before the murder.
What do you mean? Excuse me, Your Honor. What do you mean, one of them? Lies! All of it! Lies! I don't believe a word of it.
Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died.
Okay, it's a passport. The day before the murder. Alright. Indeed. She appears to return the day before the murder. Dude, no way.
The victim was a model, but did not have a large income. It appears she had several sugar daddies, I believe they're called.
Daddies? Sugar?
Yes, older men who gave her money and gifts. She took their money and used it to support her lifestyle.
Dude.
We can clearly see the kind of woman this Miss Stone was. Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now?
Right?
I don't think you want him to answer that question.
Yeah, Larry has a way of running his mouth in all the wrong directions. Should I stop him from answering? Of course. My client had no idea the victim was seeing other men. That question is irrelevant to this case. Dude, Nick, what do you mean irrelevant? That cheating she-dog. I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna drop dead. Yeah, and when I meet... Oh, fuck. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I fucking didn't know it was gonna skip. Let's continue with the trial, shall we?
I believe the accused's motive is clear to everyone.
Yes, quite. Oh, boy. This is so not looking good.
Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Well, did you or did you not?
Well, maybe I did, and maybe I didn't. Oh, fuck. He went. What do I do? Have him answer, honestly, because I know he didn't do it. I know. I'll send him a signal. Okay, this is probably a bad idea. Tell the truth! Yeah, I was there. I went. Order! I'm sorry. Order! Well, Mr. Butts. Dude, chill. She wasn't home, man. So, like, I didn't see her.
Your Honor, the defendant is lying!
Lying?
The prosecution would like to call a witness who can prove Mr. Butts is lying.
Well, that simplifies matters. Who is your witness?
The man who found the victim's body just before making the gruesome discovery.
He saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the... Oh,
he saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the crime.
Order! Order in the court. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness.
Yes, Your Honor.
This is bad.
On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's building. Please bring Mr. Frank Sawhwit to this. I can't fucking read that. Mister, I'm not going to say that name. You sell newspaper subscriptions, is that correct? Oh, yes. Newspapers, yes.
Mr. Sawhwit, you may proceed with your testimony. Please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder. Okay, I don't know what to do here.
I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there, a woman, not moving, dead. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. The man who ran was without a doubt the defendant sitting right over there.
Larry, why didn't you tell the truth? I can't defend you against a testimony like that. Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working?
Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was like a blackout in the building.
Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout?
Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Mr. Sawhwit used was one of those. Your Honor, I have a record of the blackout for your pursual.
Okay. Now, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. You may begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination? Your Honor?
Alright, right, this is it. The real deal.
Exactly am I supposed to do?
Why, you exposed the lies in the testimony the witness just gave.
Lies? What? He was lying?
Your client is innocent, right? And that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is your client really guilty?
How do I prove he's not?
You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First,
Fine, this is just fucking... I'm just reading tutorials here. Then, once you've found the contradicting evidence, bitch, can you stop yapping? I'm trying not to be sexist, but bitch, can you stop yapping? Okay. Okay, that's all I gotta do. Okay, I guess I gotta do witness's account.
I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment.
Okay. Okay, that's an attorney's badge. So, he was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. Okay, why were you doing that during a blackout then, right? This evidence clearly reveals the contradiction in that statement, Your Honor. How exactly are that evidence and the statement just now related? They aren't, are they? Not at all. Mr. Wright, please think the facts over before making accusations. I don't think that won me any points with the judge. Great.
I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment.
Isn't a man leaving an apartment a common sight? I find it odd you would take notice of him.
I don't know, he just seemed strange to me, that's all. Like he was mad and yet frightened at the same time. Just like a criminal fleeing the scene of a crime.
The defense requests that the witness refrain from conjecture.
Of course. What the witness means is that the man he saw looked suspicious. So, what happened next? I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him.
I don't think there's evidence to support that. Okay. Hold it! Half open, you say?
Yes, the door was open halfway, yes. I watched for a moment, but no one came to close the door. That's odd in a big city like this, I thought. I see. And what happened next? Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment.
Hold it! What gave you the idea to do that?
Well, the door was half open, you see. Isn't it only human to want to peek? We climb mountains because they're there. It's the same thing.
Sure
words have never been spoken. Anyone would look inside.
Why did Payne cut him off so quickly?
So you looked into the apartment. What happened then? And I saw her lying there. A woman, not moving, dead.
Wait, she died between 4 to 5 p.m. and this... So it was during a blackout. Hold it! Are you sure she was dead?
Well, no, I guess I wasn't. But she wasn't moving at all, and there was blood everywhere.
I guess that would look fatal to anyone. Very well. What happened next?
I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside.
Hold it! So, you didn't touch anything in the apartment?
Yes, I mean, no, nothing.
Okay. What happened next?
I thought to call the police immediately.
You thought to call the police? Does that mean you didn't actually call them?
Please, listen to the rest of the testimony. You thought to call the police. What happened next? However, the phone in our apartment wasn't working.
The phone in her apartment wasn't working.
Yes, I mean, no, it wasn't, right?
But you said you didn't go into the apartment. Or did you?
Oh, that, I can explain that. There was a cordless phone on the shelf in the entranceway. I reached the side and tried using that to call. And that phone wasn't working, correct? What happened next? I went into a nearby park and found a public phone.
So, wait a minute. It was a cordless phone, right? Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence.
It does? I don't see anything contradictory.
Huh? Really?
Objection overruled.
What do you mean? Power outage? How is he finding a public phone with that? What do you mean? Fuck you mean? He's clearly committed a crime. He's lying right to my face. Oh, whoops. That didn't go so well.
I went to a nearby park and found a public phone.
Hold it. Why use a public phone?
Well, you see, I don't have a cell phone. And being the middle of the afternoon, there was no answer at the nearby apartments.
Alright, what time did you call again?
I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m.
Wait a minute. If her time of death was 4... You found the body at 1 p.m.? You sure?
Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain.
Oh yeah? Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death at some time after 4 p.m. There was no body to find at 1 p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap?
This is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time.
After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Sawit, why were you so certain that you found the body at 1 p.m.?
Gee, that's a really good question. Great job, right? Put him right on the spot. That's all you have to do. Point out contradictions. Lies always beget more lies.
See through one and their whole story falls apart. Okay, this is just Yapatron over here.
Wait, I remember now.
Would you care to give your testimony again?
Okay. Whew. You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video or taped program. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding.
Okay.
I see you heard a voice saying the time on a taped program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Right. You know what to do.
I've got this one. Okay. Okay, chuckle fuck.
You see, when I found the body, I heard the time.
You couldn't have been able to because the blackout record. Objection, Your Honor. Hold it right there. The prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery, and this record proves it. Okay. You couldn't have heard a television or a video. Fuck's sake. My cough is... I'm really having trouble keeping up.
The defense has a point. You have an explanation for this, Mr. Sawit?
No, I find it quite puzzling myself. Quite. Oh, wait, I remember now.
Mr. Sawit, the court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility.
And you seem... Oh, fuck.
That, and you seem rather distraught.
My apologies, Your Honor. It must have been been the shock of finding the body.
Very well, Mr. Sawit.
Fuck's sake.
Let's hear your testimony once more, please.
Okay. Here we go. Actually, I didn't hear the time. I saw it. There was a table clock in the apartment. Wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw.
You saw a clock. I guess that would explain it. Defense may cross-examine the witness.
Gladly.
Actually, I didn't hear the time. I saw it.
Hold it. That strikes me as a very suspicious mistake.
Yes, I can say you'd be a little doubtful. I'm really sorry. I only just remembered that table clock.
A table clock.
There was a table clock in the apartment. Wasn't there?
A table clock? Was there a clock at the scene?
This is the first I've heard of it.
Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. Actually, you're wrong. They used the thinker. Yeah.
Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was a statue. Now, how is this supposed to be a clock?
What? You with your objections and your evidence? Who do you think you are?
Just answer the question, Mr. Sawit.
Hey, I saw it too, okay? That's a clock. Your Honor, if I may...
Yes, Mr. Payne.
As the witness stated, this statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it and it says the time out loud. As it doesn't look like a clock, I submitted it as a statue. My apologies.
I see. So, the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness's testimony was correct. This is indeed a clock. You have any problems with this testimony now?
Your Honor, there is a gaping hole in this witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hand. Yet the witness testified that he never even entered the apartment. Clearly a contradiction.
Indeed.
The witness knew it was a clock because he went into the apartment. You're lying! You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder.
Oh yeah? Prove it! Prove I went in there!
I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her.
You struck her with the...
Oh. You struck her with the clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard.
Order in the court! Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sawit, the sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time.
What's the meaning of this? This is baseless conjecture.
Baseless? Just look at the witness's face!
Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with a clock? That day, I never... Look, the clock, I heard... No, I mean, I saw...
What the hell?
Shut up, I hate you! He was him, I tell you! I saw him! He killed her! He should burn! Give him the death! Order in the court, I say!
Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims.
Mr. Wright,
Your Honor?
you claim the sound the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence?
Whole case is running on this. I better think it through carefully. Your Honor, the sound Mrs. DeWitt heard was definitely this clock. In fact, which is clear if you simply... try sounding the clock. Let's sound the clock now, here in this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock? I ask the court to listen very carefully.
I'm over here stroking my dick.
I think it's...
That's certainly a strange way to announce the time.
well, he is the thinker after all.
So, we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright?
Mr. Payne, you tell me what time it is now.
It's 11:25.
As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy between what Mr. Sawit heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Sawit, try to talk your way out of this one.
You forgot one thing.
Uh-oh. What's he talk about now?
Well, it may seem like that clock is running 3 hours slow. It proves nothing! How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? You can't prove that! You don't have a case!
He's right. How am I gonna prove that? Damn it! I was so close.
Mr. Wright, it seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim.
Yes, Your Honor.
This means I cannot let you indict the witness. Unfortunately, this ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Sawit.
I come all the way down here to testify, and look what happens! You treat me like a criminal! A criminal! Your lawyers are all slime!
I almost had him. Sorry, Larry. I failed you. There's nothing I can do about it now. Do I fail?
Not so fast, Mr. Sawit.
Mia, I mean, Chief.
Listen up, right? Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think, Mark, think.
Chief, it's over.
I can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. No one can prove that. Well, yes. But that doesn't mean you can still win. Try thinking out of the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Right? Can you think of a reason as to why the clock would be 3 hours slow?
Yes. Wait. Maybe I can prove it.
You must have evidence somewhere that could prove it, right?
Find it and let him have it.
Well, Mr. Wright, you say the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support this claim?
Of course. There's a piece of evidence in the court record that can prove my claim beyond a doubt.
Let's see you pull this one off.
Let's see if the evidence that proves why the clock was running slow.
Okay, well, I don't have... Well, she was hit with it, right? This.
The victim had just returned from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between there and Paris is 9 hours. When it's 4 p.m. here, it's 1 a.m. the next day there. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow, it was 9 hours fast! The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in her apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Sweat? Or should I say, Mr. Dennett?
Yo, he's dead! Order, I say. Well, this case has certainly turned out everything that we all expected. Mr. Penn, your witness.
He was arrested and taken away, Your Honor.
Very well. Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor.
I have to say I'm impressed. I don't think we've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly. And find the true culprit at the same time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
At this point, this is only a formality, but his court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts, not guilty. And with that, this court is adjourned.
Well, he did it. And it turns out that Frank Sweat was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of the house. That day. When Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Sweat let himself in to do his dirty work. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Sweat grabbed the nearest blunt object he could find.